Alright, so a while back, my family and I were moving into a new place, and during that move, we got rid of a lot of our stuff. Me in particular. I got rid of a lot of hangers, because for some reason I had more than 500 hangers that were apparently in my closet in the house before, and I just found it to be so ridiculous that I had so many, so I got rid of them. At least a majority. But at the end of the day, I realized that was a mistake, because upon unpacking my stuff and putting it together, I realized I had a lot of clothes. Like, clothes that I had from junior high, that I hadn't really gotten rid of, but they still fit me. I knew I had to let go of some of that stuff, but I also knew that I did need some hangers. So I went to the 99-cent store, and upon heading there early in the morning, getting the job done, and getting ready to leave, before I even bothered to enter my car and drive off and continue to unpack, I noticed a game store in the cuts, like neighboring the 99-cent store. I was shocked because it wasn't a GameStop, but it was a game store. So I thought it was a little retro thrift place for video games where you could buy, sell, and trade stuff, get what you need, and get gone. I thought it was neat considering in the area there wasn't really any game stores, and I think maybe the nearest GameStop would be like maybe in 10 miles. 2 if you were driving, but walking, fuck, it would feel like 10. Either way, that's what I thought about it, and I was fucking wrong. As usual. This rinky-dink shop was owned by some super aggressive foreign guy who wanted to change the game shop into a smoke shop because, surprise surprise, none of his games were selling, and rightfully so. He was one of those assholes that found out that retro gaming was a thing and thought that it was a good idea to buy retro gaming stuff from people and then just sell it at a high price. So yeah, in his shop you'd probably be seeing a Sega Genesis with some games with a price tag on it amounting to $70 at least. Like, honestly. This guy had old games of which were few in margin compared to the large store, and they were all priced outrageously. Like, honestly, just imagine going into a GameStop that was shutting down and there were maybe a few games on the shelves and a few consoles left and a few merchandise left. Like, it looked like the store was robbed and there wasn't that much stuff in there anyway. And oddly enough, you can kind of tell that the game shop was transitioning because only the front part of the store had game-related items. Everything else from the middle of the store on back had cell phones, like used Metro, like, I don't know, cell phones, t-shirts, old movies that were obviously bootleg, but they were trying to sell them, rings, jewelry. It was like a pawn shop. Like, the first few steps you took into the store, it was a game store, a shitty game store that was going out of business, and everything else in the store was like a thrift shop. Like, almost, I wouldn't even say Goodwill. I've been to some pretty nice looking Goodwills, but like, it was really thrifty is what I'm saying. Either way, going back, everything in the store that was game related was all priced outrageously. Legend of Zelda games, $50. Devil May Cry 3, $35. You get what I'm saying. So as soon as I walked into the store and started browsing, this guy immediately introduces himself and pushes me to buy a whole bunch of his garbage. I think because at this time I was underdressed with no makeup, so I looked 12 and absolutely naive. Either way, he wanted me to buy wireless GameCube controllers with no port, games with broken cases, and basically at his prices, expensive garbage, expensive trash, expensive shit. Going so far as to bundle some of that stuff all together just to get me to buy it. I was of course hesitant, cause this guy wouldn't even let me fucking browse his store long enough to even contemplate if I wanted his stuff or not, which kind of alerted me, cause I think maybe there were a few customers ahead of me that did that stuff before and just didn't buy anything, and he just wanted all that game stuff out. Either way, he was making small conversation, and at some point I let him know that I was interested in buying like consoles, maybe even like small handhelds and stuff like that. But even his handhelds were fucking ridiculous. Like, he had a PSP for $300. Like, you have a PSP, like a handheld that was released in like 2009, 2010, and you have it at the same price as a fucking PS3? Are you fucking kidding me? Either way, he wanted me to buy everything. And at some point, he pushed me into trying to buy an old PlayStation, and he bundled it up with other junk. So, like, he was giving me bags of PlayStation stuff. Like, 2 full bags of PlayStation stuff for $80. And I didn't see it as a deal, and I even joked with him and said that if he added one of his used and overpriced DS's and maybe a few games in the bundle, he'd have a deal, but he wasn't willing to do that at all. Either way, to make a long story short, the guy ends up charging me $80 for the PlayStation stuff and some controllers and a few games, and then when he later explains that to me, he tells me that I can't get a refund, only store credit. I remember in the moment being super pissed because not only was I just not supposed to be there, I mean, I went there out of genuine curiosity, but when he hit me with that store credit bullshit, it's like, bitch, you are not Ross, you are not Marshalls, you are definitely not Old Navy. You do not have the authority to say someone has store credit or not, especially when you don't even have a system implemented in your store to even keep track of that shit. I tell him I don't want any of the stuff and just want my money back, to where he later makes a call to his manager and they start talking and whatever for maybe 12 minutes, and then the guy ends up giving me $60 back, and he tells me that the 2 bags of video game garbage was mine for $20. I nodded and took that junk, because I mean 2 bags of PlayStation stuff, $20, that's not bad. You could get that at a garage sale, I'm sure. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you this random ramble of a story is because I haven't gotten rid of that garbage, nor the stupid games that I was burdened to keep, and know that no one will buy from me if I even bothered to sell them. And I got one of these things. So I figured, hey, here's a shitty excuse to make more shitty content. I've got some crappy video games that I've accumulated over the years with stories that are annoying or are garbage. I figure we could have a little fun with that and make that a thing. So I'll be playing some games and essentially critiquing or talking shit about them and making that a short series here. I mean, for some of these games, they all have like a stupid story as to why I bought them in the first place and why I'm stuck with them, but also, I mean, I figure it would be fun. I already have a few games in mind that I want to start off with, but for some reason, the PS2 that I have, none of my controllers work for them. So yeah, even the shitty controllers that I bought off that guy, it was fucking garbage, but still, it's $20. I make that in an hour at my job. Not an hour, I wish. Either way, none of the controllers work, so I'm going to either order a controller online and wait on that, or just see what Walmart has to offer. They probably don't have anything, but yeah, I'm just going to basically fuck with a whole bunch of these PlayStation 2 games that I hate, or PlayStation games that I got. You know, I'll have stupid stories at the beginning of the first video explaining why I got the game in the first place, and then how it was bullshit, basically, and then make that a small series. I've already beaten the game, so it's not like I'll be game grumping it, where I stay on a certain area in the game for fucking 20 episodes to milk content or anything, because I would just want to get it over with. But anyway, all in all, it's a way for me to make more content for the channel and basically, hopefully, to keep you guys entertained. I mean, it's whatever. I don't know if I'll make it an ongoing thing because I don't know if it'll be received well or not. But like I said, I have a few games in mind. And nobody can really see if they like it or not unless it's actually out there. So I'm going to test that out with maybe a few episodes for a few different games that I have, and then just see where it goes from there. I also got a new computer, so you might hear some annoying humming in the background. I can't really do anything about that. Audacity does not work for Windows 10. And I mean, even if it does, there's some risks, and apparently you have to do a whole bunch of extra shit instead of just downloading it, opening it, and installing it. So fuck it. I don't really care. Still, I'm letting you guys know I'll be making more content for you guys and trying to be more productive with it. So hopefully things go well. I'm not like any of those gaming channels where I have to get everything at 1080p. I don't give a fuck. I grew up in the 90s. The shitty quality that I dealt with my games, I still enjoyed some of my games in its shitty quality, so we'll be going back to the fucking 90s. A lot of the games I'll be playing will be in shitty quality, and you guys will enjoy it because that's what I grew up on. And so I've learned how to humble myself. Like, yeah, graphics are great now, obviously, but back then we didn't really have graphics. We had pixels, so if you see some stuff out of sync, out of quality, well, welcome to my childhood. That's just what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna critique that and make fun of it, but we're still going to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, dip. It's cool. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Cool, whatever. Still, again, as I said, I'm going to be trying that out. So, yeah, that's basically what this video was about. A funny, stupid story time as to how stuff is happening now. And, I guess where more content will be coming from. I figure it would be better than the shitty Atome games that I'm finding online or the games that I'm finding for free online. So, whatever, right? Again, I'll try a few vids and then we'll just go from there. But still, thanks for liking my garbage so far, guys. Thanks.